Hey everybody, it's Robin from Shanti Art Creations. I'm going to make a card with a new stamp set that I got. It came with a magazine. I don't remember what the magazine is, but anyways, it's Crafter's Companion, My Cup of Tea, with this large amount of stamps. And I think for today I'm going to stamp the Teapot and probably this sentiment, I can't make it better, but I can make tea. I'm not sure if anything else will fit on my card, but we'll see. So I'm going to stamp the Teapot, and I'm going to use this designer paper pad, Lost and Found, My Mind's Eye, and I'm going to use this blue. I just like that color. So I'm actually going to stamp the Teapot on here and then fussy cut it out. So I have brought in my MISTI just to make sure it stamps well, because I've not used this stamp yet. So I'm using my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and my Recollections clear embossing powder, and just giving this a nice good impression. I think that works good. Push this off to the side. And I like to just have a lined piece of paper that I put my embossing powder over. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but to me there's just something so satisfying about using embossing powder. That is actually one of the things that first really intrigued me about getting into making cards. Perfect. Love watching that embossing powder melt. Okay, you guys, fussy cutting is one of the things that I really struggle with. I am not great at it. When I do fussy cut something out, I usually leave a little bit of a shadow around the outside, but there are certain times, like on this card, where I just wanted the nice clean like black line with nothing else, no shadow around it. But I'm really slow at fussy cutting. This part of the video is actually sped up 5 times. So that kind of gives you an idea of how slow I am actually at it. And then I also wanted to get that that little middle section out from the handle there, which was a little bit of struggle for me. I've heard that cutter bee scissors work really well and are more helpful for fussy cutting. I do not have great scissors, so probably that is one thing that I should invest in soon. Now, I did see this tip from, I think it was Natasha Foote, that gives the wonderful tip with fussy cutting to use a black pen. This is, I don't know, Tombow. I don't know how to say that. Brush pen. Anyways, it's black. And then you just kind of go around the edges of the black line where you fussy cut. And see, it just fills that in a little nicer. Okay, this is another thing that I'm not very fast at. This is also sped up 5 times, but I'm sure the more I do these things, the more I fussy cut, the more I outline these things with the pen, the better I'll get at it. So just bear with me, and sorry for that awkward headshot there. There's got my card base. Just fit that way, or I can do it. Oh, I've got black on there. Shoot. Okay, some possibilities that I've brought out are tumbled glass, weathered wood, Victorian velvet, or antique linen. kind of feeling one of these two. But would that be too much? And I just want it really light, but I almost want to try the weathered wood. So I've got my little container with one of my containers. So, where was that? Weathered wood. It's right there. Let's see how much ink is on here to start with. Oh, not much at all. Can go darker around the edges. So I'm speeding up the ink blending here. I definitely thought I would try some of this weathered wood ink around the edges for sure. I wasn't quite sure how dark or how light, or if it was even going to work for what I wanted, because I wasn't exactly sure. But then when I put the teapot over, I realized the white space in the center really didn't look good, so I decided to put a little bit more in the middle, see how it goes. I'm not 100% set on that, but we'll see. This handy dandy tool my husband gave me from his workshop works great to get these off without getting my fingers filled with ink. Also helps me get my die cuts off my magnetic board. That's why he gave it to me. I also had the possibility of using this pack of cardstock, and I had gone through and looked at this one and thought of possibly putting it on there. Actually, I do like that better. I wonder if I take this, take my little marker out. Now, I wonder if I cut that down just there. All right, so here I was kind of trying to decide whether I wanted the card to be like vertical or horizontal, how much of a border I wanted with the weathered wood ink around the pattern paper. And I decided to just start cutting the paper down. Sometimes I measure and I will just go strictly by measurements, but lots of times I actually just kind of eyeball it. I'll cut a bit off, measure it against the card base, see how it's working out, see if I need to trim off more or if I've got it where I want it. Sometimes I'm not sure exactly how much of a border I want until I, place the item back on there. So I've got the teapot on there again now. I've decided I want it in the horizontal position, and now I'm just deciding where I want the sentiment, whether I wanted it on the teapot itself, and I did decide that that was the best thing to do. So I got out my sticky grid for my MISTI and just positioning the stamp where I want it to go. And before stamping it down, I remembered a tip that somebody, I don't remember where I heard it, maybe from Gina K. I think there's many people that do this, but they'll put like a scrap piece of plastic or something, packaging from a stamp down, and stamp it on there first, and then you can see where you want the positioning or if it's positioned properly. So that was my first time ever doing that, and I quite enjoyed it, and it worked out well. So just putting my MISTI away and then getting out my embossing stuff. And I'm again using I used the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink again. That's my favorite for stamping sentiments. And then I have the clear embossing powder by Recollections, and just getting that going. Okay. I think that's gonna work. I have somebody coming over any minute for a visit, so let's see if I can get this stuck together before she arrives. I got my, just grabbing a new Forever in Time glue tape runner. This way again. I apologize if my head gets in the way. Yeah, do we want to pop that up? It's not as thick cardstock as I often use, so I think I might just glue it down. Yeah, I'm going to use Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. Really trying to hurry here before my doorbell rings. Straight. I think that's straight. I don't know if you're supposed to store it like this, but I always just stick a pin back in that. Seems to work for me. There, I can't make it better, but I can make tea. And I almost want to put a couple little gems on it. You know what I wish I had? The clear, like water droplet looking ones, because those are so pretty. I think I should order some. Okay, another thing that I really need more practice on is where to position the gems. I've heard people say to use odd amounts rather than even numbers of gems, so I have 3. And I finally just decided, okay, I'll just go with where I had them. But I did move them around quite a bit first to figure out where to put them, and I never quite know. So here we are for today. I can't make it better, but I can make tea. So there we go. See you next time.